there, boys and girls. Here's another Bible Story Adventure. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there was a great captain called Naaman. He lived in the land of Syria, and he was the king's favorite because he had won so many battles. He was brave and rich and famous, but he wasn't happy. You know why? Because he had a terrible disease, leprosy. It made him very sad to think that he could never get well, and it made Mrs. Naaman sad, too. One day, the little Hebrew captive maid who waited on her saw how unhappy she was and said,
"Oh, my mistress, what makes you so sad?"
"I shall always be sad. My husband has leprosy. He can never be healed."
"I know how he can be healed."
"Oh, no, my child. Don't you know that no one has ever been cured of leprosy?"
"The prophet of God can heal him."
"No one can ever heal him."
"The prophet can. He's God's servant and has done many wonderful things already."
Someone told Naaman's king, the king of Syria, what the little captive maid had said. Now, the king loved Naaman, and he was willing to do anything he could to help him get well. So he sent a servant to another king, the king of Israel, with all kinds of wonderful presents and a letter about Naaman. The king of Israel read the letter, and he was very troubled. When Elisha, the prophet of God, heard how troubled the king was, he went straight to the palace to see him, and he said, "It has been told me that my lord the king has received a letter and is greatly troubled."
"It's true, Elisha. My heart is in sore distress. There is none that can help. Never since I came to the throne have I been so heavy-hearted."
"Why, O king?"
"Because of what the king of Syria has asked me to do."
"Is it so impossible?"
"He must think I'm God that he asks me to heal a man of leprosy."
"He has asked you to do that?"
"He has. One of his officers, Captain Naaman, has leprosy, and he wants me to heal him."
"And if you don't, my lord?"
"If I don't, Elisha, I'm afraid he'll start war with us, and we'll be lost."
"Send Captain Naaman to me, O king. I'll show him that there is a prophet of God in Israel." The king of Israel sent word to Naaman and asked him to visit Elisha. So Naaman, the great captain, came riding in his chariot. When he got to Elisha's house, he stopped at the door and waited for the prophet to come and meet him. But Elisha didn't come. He sent a servant instead. And the servant told Naaman to wash himself 7 times in the Jordan River and he'd be cured. Now, that wasn't the way Naaman expected to be treated. He was used to having people make a big fuss over him, and he thought Elisha himself would come out and heal him. So when he saw the servant and heard his message, he became very angry and cried out to his own servants who were standing nearby, "Does this prophet know who I am? How does he dare to treat me like this?"
"I can't understand it, my lord."
"Why, I thought he would do something great and wonderful."
"You were worthy of it, my master."
"Why, I thought he'd come out and call on the name of the Lord his God and raise his hand and heal me."
"He told you how you can be healed, my lord, if you will pardon my saying so."
"What? I should go down into that muddy Jordan? Why, I wouldn't do that for anyone in the world."
"But it's your chance to be healed, my lord."
"Don't we have 2 rivers in Damascus?"
"Yes, my lord."
Well, what's the matter with them? Aren't they just as good as this dirty old Jordan?
"That might be, my lord,
I'll never go down into that Jordan River. No, not as long as I live." Naaman was so angry he was going to go back to his own land without doing what the man of God had asked him to do. But his servant pleaded with him.
"My master."
"Yes?"
"What if the man of God had asked you to do some great thing?"
"Why, then I would have done it, of course."
"But what he asked is so easy."
Well, that's just it. It isn't worthy of a man of my position.
"But even so, my lord, I think you should do it."
What? The great Naaman should humble himself to go down into that muddy river?
Is it better to go through life with leprosy?
No. No. I can't stand to have this leprosy the rest of my days.
Then will you do it, my master? Will you do as the good man of God has said?
Well, I'll do it. But I know it won't help. It won't help me one bit. So Captain Naaman and his servants went to the Jordan River, and Naaman stepped out of his chariot and into the water. And his servants said to him,
The man of God commanded you to dip 7 times, my lord.
I'll dip once. That'll be enough. There, you see? Look at my hands. Do they look any different?
No, my lord.
I told you this is just a lot of foolishness.
Try it again, sir.
Why should I try it again? The first time didn't help at all.
If you'll pardon my reminding you, sir, the man of God commanded you to dip 7 times.
Well, I'll do it once more, but it won't do any good, I tell you. It won't do any good.
Let me see your hands now, sir.
What did I tell you? There's just as much leprosy as there ever was.
But, my lord, you must dip 5 more times.
Oh, I'll go down just once more. If I don't see any change this time, we'll go back home.
Now, sir, just 4 more times.
Oh, I've had enough of this. That prophet is just making a fool of me.
There won't be any harm in doing it as many times as the prophet commanded, if you'll forgive my saying so, my lord.
So finally Naaman decided to dip himself 4 more times. Down he went into the muddy water once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 7 times altogether. And when he came up the 7th time, his servant looked at him and cried,
My lord, the prophet was right. You were healed. You were healed.
Oh, why, this is most remarkable. I've never seen anything like it.
Your skin is clean. It's just like a little child's. The prophet was right.
Yes, the prophet was right. And we're going back to tell him that he was. So Naaman and his servants went back to look for Elisha. When they found him, Naaman cried out, Now I know that there's no other God in all the earth but the God of Israel. I will never offer sacrifices to other gods again. I will serve no other God but the God of Elisha. And that was the story of Naaman, the great captain who was healed of leprosy.